When the young technician named Aaron boarded the long-range sleeper craft, he expected the journey to be dull, quiet, and uneventful. He was one of many humans hired to maintain the ship's engine systems during a deep travel jump through unknown regions. His shift rotation had been smooth, the corridors silent except for faint hums, and his personal cabin offered no surprises either. After a long day of calibration work, Aaron lay on the narrow bunk as the ship's cycle eased into resting mode. He closed his eyes, letting the fatigue pull him under. Believing the next time he woke it would be for another routine inspection, he was wrong. Aaron awoke not to the low, mechanical sounds of the sleeper craft, but to air thick with the scent of incense and warm light pouring over his skin. The texture beneath him was no longer a bunk, but a soft surface that yielded with each breath he took. He sat up slowly, unsure if he was still dreaming. The room around him shimmered with golden stone, carved with flowing patterns that seemed alive. There were banners along the walls, each marked with a crest shaped like a spiral sun. His heartbeat quickened. This was not his ship. Before he could stand, a pair of tall armored figures stepped forward from near the door. Their armor was silver, engraved with the same spiral symbol. Their faces were partly concealed by ornate masks that glowed faintly at the edges. They carried long staffs tipped with curved blades, though their posture was not hostile. One lifted a hand, signaling for him to remain calm. Aaron tried to speak, but his throat felt dry. He managed a few words, asking where he was and what had happened. The armored figures exchanged a glance and moved aside. From behind them stepped a woman taller than any human Aaron had ever seen. Her skin was a pale gold, and her eyes glowed like embers. She wore a long flowing robe adorned with shimmering threads, and her hair moved like strands of light. She regarded him with calm authority. "Do not fear," she said in a soft voice. "You were brought here because you were chosen." Aaron could only stare. Chosen for what? Chosen by whom? The woman approached, and the guards bowed their heads. That was when he understood. She was the ruler of this place, and the air around her carried the presence of someone used to command. She introduced herself as the Empress of a vast interstellar realm. Her voice never rose above a calm tone, yet every word resonated with weight. She explained that her empire had long searched for a specific kind of mind, one capable of linking with a rare cosmic phenomenon near their capital world. Their own people were too attuned to its energies, and attempting to control it caused harm. They needed someone from beyond, someone resistant to the surge of that strange force. Aaron listened in shock. He had been taken from his sleeper craft by advanced teleportation technology. They had scanned thousands of species, running simulations for decades, seeking someone whose mind and physiology could withstand the energies of the cosmic field. Records had narrowed the candidates to a few humans, and his profile fit the requirements perfectly. Aaron struggled to process the information. He had gone to sleep, expecting another ordinary day, not to be told he was vital to an alien empire. The Empress watched him with patience, allowing him time to absorb it. After a long silence, he asked what his role would be, and why she called him chosen. The Empress lifted her hand, revealing a golden sphere that hovered above her palm. She told him the sphere was a regulator for the cosmic field. It required a partner whose mind could anchor its shifts. Only one person in an age could do so safely. The chosen partner would stand beside the Empress as protector of the realm, ensuring the field did not spiral out of balance. This was not a ceremonial role. It was real, vital, and dangerous. Aaron protested. He insisted he was only a technician, not a leader or a warrior. The Empress stepped closer, her voice steady. She told him that leadership did not come from birth or training alone. Sometimes it came from the ability to withstand what others could not. She assured him that he would be trained and guided, not thrown into danger without preparation. He still hesitated. His life had been ordinary, quiet, predictable. He had never imagined being responsible for anything beyond simple engineering tasks. The Empress listened, but did not pressure him. Instead, she invited him to walk with her through the palace dot as they moved through the halls. Aaron saw murals depicting past guardians of the field. None looked like him. Each guardian had stood beside a ruler, not as a servant, but as a partner in duty. They were not chosen for power, but for resilience of spirit. The murals showed them calming storms of energy, shielding the empire from unpredictable waves that could tear apart. Entire systems. The Empress explained that a new surge was expected in the coming months. Without a guardian, the field could break loose, causing devastation across their worlds. Aaron's presence was not only wanted, it was necessary. Still bewildered, he asked why he had been brought without consent. The Empress lowered her gaze for a moment. She admitted that their desperation had been great, and her advisors feared the field would become uncontrollable before any formal contact could be arranged. She accepted responsibility for the urgency, but she also promised him something no ruler had offered in generations. He would be free to choose. If he refused, they would return him safely to his ship with no harm done. Aaron was surprised by her honesty. She could have forced him or manipulated him, yet instead she placed the choice in his hands. Over the following days he was shown the palace, the capital, and the outer ring of the empire's defenses. Everywhere he went, people regarded him with a mix of awe and uncertainty. He was an outsider who might become the most important figure in their survival. He saw their fear of the coming surge. He saw their hope in him. It weighed on him more than he expected. The Empress visited him each day, speaking with calm sincerity. She asked about his life, his world, and his hopes. She shared the challenges her people faced, the burdens she carried, and the reason she valued partnership and leadership. She explained that a ruler was strongest when balanced by someone who saw things differently. Aaron began to understand why the role was called chosen partner. It was not merely symbolic. It was a bond of responsibility and trust. Aaron spent many nights staring at the ceiling of the guest chamber, thinking about the journey he had expected to take and the one now before him. He remembered his quiet cabin, the hum of the engine, the simple routine he had known. The contrast between that life and the one offered to him was overwhelming. Yet he also remembered the faces of the people here, hopeful and afraid. On the 7th day, the Empress invited him to witness the outer field from the observatory. The energy stretched across the sky like a shimmering river of light, pulsing in slow waves. Even from a safe distance, Aaron felt a faint pressure in his mind. The scientists warned him not to stare too long without preparation. The Empress stood beside him and explained that the field was growing restless. Without a guardian, it could soon surge out of control. Aaron turned to her and asked what would happen if he tried, but failed. She answered with complete honesty. If he failed, the collapse would spread across multiple systems, costing countless lives. But she also assured him that they would train him carefully, guiding him step by step. She would never allow him to face the field alone. That was the meaning of partnership. Her sincerity struck him deeply. Despite her power, she spoke to him as an equal, acknowledging his fears without judgment. In that moment, Aaron understood why she was respected not just as a ruler, but as someone who carried the weight of her people with compassion. That night, Aaron could not sleep. He walked through the palace gardens, lit by soft lights that floated like small stars. As he sat on a stone bench, he remembered the Empress's words and the murals of guardians before him. He realized that his life had been quiet, not because he lacked purpose, but because he had not yet found where he was needed most. By dawn, his decision was made. He approached the throne chamber, where the Empress awaited his answer. The guards stepped aside as he entered. The Empress rose from her seat, meeting his gaze with calm expectation. Aaron told her he accepted the role, not because he desired honor or status, but because he understood that sometimes a person found themselves at a crossroads where doing nothing caused more harm than stepping forward. He told her he trusted her guidance and would stand beside her to protect the realm. The Empress's expression softened with gratitude. She placed the golden sphere before him. Its light enveloped his hands as he touched it, weaving a bond between him and the energy field. The palace brightened as the sphere responded to his presence, stabilizing for the first time in years. From that day onward, Aaron trained under the Empress's guidance. He learned to balance the sphere's power, attune his mind, and sense the shifts within the cosmic field. The Empress stood beside him during each session, sharing the weight of responsibility. Their partnership became a symbol of unity across the empire. Despite the fear of the coming surge, the people found hope again. Months later, when the surge finally arrived, Aaron and the Empress stood together at the heart of the observatory. Waves of energy crashed against the stabilizer dome, shaking the entire structure. Aaron held the sphere, focusing every thought on anchoring the field. The pressure was immense. His mind strained, and visions of distant galaxies flashed before him.